Welcome back to the So What Show, family. Today we're coming out of the War Within, and this is the Foreword. So let's get started. Dear most fortunate reader, something about Bruce Lee has attracted you to pick up this book. Before I get started, I've read many books, and people always coming to me asking me for this and that, and when they know me, and I got to the point where it was consuming too much of my time. So I would rather them know just as I know. They say also that if you want to hide something from black folks or ignorant folks, you put it in the book. Well, I'm exposing it so you have no ignorance. If we are to rise, we cannot be ignorant, right? And if I want to be able to communicate to people on a more intellectual level and civilized level, what I have to help raise those individuals up from an uncivilized, savage mind state so we can be more productive and advance at a quicker pace. So it's just inevitable that I'm doing this for why I do it. I read them, might as well share them with you as I do it so we can all advance at the same time. Some people like to gain a lot of information and hide it from the rest so they can use it for selfish purposes or manipulative purposes. None of that here. We wasn't taught like that. So let's get started. Dear most fortunate reader, something about Bruce Lee has attracted you to pick up this book. You recall this screen image: a great fighter, fast, powerful, an opponent to be feared, a man in superb physical condition, with washboard abdominals, broad deltoids, defined forearms, an actor whose personality excited you, charmed you, and inspired you. Perhaps you have seen his films many times, classics, still unsurpassed in the martial arts genre, but Bruce Lee, a philosopher. Hmm? This is a side of the man that you haven't considered, but your interest is piqued. Read on. My friend, for within the pages of this book, John Little delivers to you an adventure of the spirit, an opportunity for you to know the real Bruce Lee. And family, give me a second. I'm noticing something that I used to do back about 4 years ago is highlight words that I didn't understand totally for my own personal use, and I still think that's a good idea for me. So let me give me a highlighter real quick. Okay, let's get back to it. Not that far from it. During our marriage of 9 years, I knew Bruce Lee probably more thoroughly and intimately than most. In his outward life, I saw him struggle to overcome stumbling blocks along the path to the attainment of his goals. In his interior life, I watched him struggle to overcome the self-doubts and insecurities that plague us all. Bruce will be the first person to tell you that he was not a perfect man. But more important, he will say that his mission in life was to become a real human being. His journey was a constant process of evolving, one step at a time, with the object being not to reach a state of perfection, but to experience life with every nerve exposed, fully in touch with gut level feelings and cerebral senses. To this end, Bruce delved deeply into his physique to define and refine his own philosophy of life. All knowledge is really self-knowledge, Bruce often said, meaning that the more a person exposes himself to learning opportunities, the more these experiences enrich, enhance, and become part of what that person is. Bruce was a model of a self-educated man. His formal education extended through his junior year at the University of Washington, where he majored in philosophy. When Bruce left college to open the John Fan Gong Fu School in Oakland, his education did not stop. Far from it. He continued his quest, the fascination that had driven him from an early age. How does the thinking process of an individual propel him to actualize his full potential in a superior way? Bruce was determined to learn about this process within himself. Even as he trained his body from strength and efficiency, so did he discipline his mind to search for the causes of his ignorance. So intensely did Bruce focus his attention on this task that his mind became absolutely centered, while at the same time, he was filled with a blazing awareness of all that went on around him. The essential Gong Fu man. By exploring the depths of his being, he was able to nurture the seeds of his personal philosophy, which grew and blossomed into the real Bruce Lee. The man you have experienced as a prodigious fighting machine, and that you will now get to know as a philosopher, a man wise beyond his years. There are others who are good martial artists and fine actors with fabulous physiques. Some have achieved stardom and are richly rewarded for their talent. But there is something about Bruce Lee which makes him irreplaceable in the hearts and minds of his followers all over the world. More than 2 decades after his death, I continue to receive a steady stream of mail from people expressing their admiration for Bruce. 13-year-old young man, born years after Bruce died, writes to tell me how Bruce has motivated him to do well in school. A professional man in his 50s tells me how his life moved in a positive direction because of Bruce's influence. A young woman says she was inspired to study martial arts because of Bruce, and her confidence has soared in all areas of her life. The stories are innumerable, but similar in theme. Bruce Lee is a role model, a hero image, and a real human being. What is this something? Something about Bruce Lee that continues to fascinate people in all walks of life. I believe it is the depth of his personal philosophy, which subconsciously or otherwise projects from the screen and through his writings. His personality was such that he brought you into his inner world, changed your attitudes, altered your perceptions, fine-tuned your awareness. This book gives you the opportunity to reshape your memories of Bruce Lee, to view him from a new perspective. One who has availed himself of the opportunities to learn from Bruce Lee is John Little, author of this book. From an early age, John immersed himself in the study of philosophy and Bruce Lee. Through the application of vast energy and intellect, tireless research, and cultivated insights, John has undertaken to compare and contrast Bruce Lee's philosophy with age-old gurus and modern sages from the East and West. I'm looking at some of these words I highlighted back in the day, but I understand them today. It's interesting. Second, he relates how Bruce applied his philosophy to everyday life and more broadly to his lifelong pursuits. Finally, John opens the door for you to take from Bruce Lee's way of life that which is useful to you. And in doing so, and in so doing, to develop and nurture your own personal philosophy. To paraphrase one of Bruce's lines from Enter the Dragon, enter the dragon. It is like a finger pointing to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Look beyond the words on these pages. Think about these thoughts, then feel them. Then make them your own. I wish you abundant energy, good health, and quiet awareness. Linda Lee Catwell. West Idaho. Postscript. A scholarship in drama has been established in memory and honor of my son, Brandon, at Whitman College. A scholarship for medical research has been established in Bruce and Brandon Lee's names at the University of Arkansas. John Little is donating a substantial percentage of the royalties from the sale of this book to those scholarships. The Lee family is grateful for his generosity. And with that being stated, family, keep your heads up, stay focused, and read. Peace.